Good evening, fellow patrons. In today's video, I break down the build of what is arguably the deadliest assault rifle in the history of Call of Duty Zombies, the DS20 Mirage. I will go over its DPS stats, the build I would recommend, and gameplay footage of this beast at ultra rarity in tier 4 Pack-a-Punch in the Curse game mode. I wanted to find the highest DPS out of all the assault rifles in each Zombies game in history, but with the introduction of weapon rarities and augments, it was extremely difficult to find a consistent way the DPS was calculated. Before I jump into the DPS numbers I found, I want to explain how these numbers were calculated. The stats, which were compiled by Reddit contributor COD Zombies DPS, tested PAP level 3 and legendary rarity along with the double time augment, which further increases the rate of fire, and then the Deadhead augment from Deadshot Daiquiri, which adds an additional 21% to critical shots. I have both of these augments equipped in the gameplay footage you see in this video. There is no elemental damage included in his figures, so it is safe to assume that the true DPS of this gun is actually higher than what the findings state, and even much higher at tier 4 PAP and ultra rarity. The highest DPS, according to this way of testing in Black Ops 6, was the AS Val, coming in at around 129,000 damage per second. DS20 Mirage is flexing 151,000 damage per second. Furthermore, according to Donuts, who tested the DPS in a similar way but included elemental damage, calculated that the DPS increases to a staggering 181,000, which is higher than the DPS of the Raygun Mark II, which comes in at around 172,000. The majority of the gameplay in this video is from the Curse game mode, which includes the following relics. The center relic has not been discovered yet, and I'm still working on completing the Dragon Head relic for the Wicked tier. To complete this relic, you need to complete the Easter egg boss fight at round 60 at tier 2 level difficulty. But I have included gameplay from the standard mode later on in this video to show you guys the damage numbers per shot, which is always interesting in my opinion. Also, the boss fight, in my opinion, is the most frustratingly difficult boss fight ever. I was honestly agitated when I found out that you're in Tessie essentially for the entire fight. Like, why the hell are we operating a motor vehicle? This is Call of Duty Zombies, not Need for Speed Underground 2. Treyarch, if you're listening, for the love of God, please no vehicle-based boss fights ever again. I'm all for challenging boss fights, but I need boots on the ground. I'll be sick if I find out I'll have to pilot a spaceship or something like that in Astra Malarium's Easter egg. My zombie skills don't translate to this boss fight at all. I've gotten this boss down to like 10% health at round 60, but the final phase of the fight at round 60 is just too difficult for me at the moment. But I will continue to try and beat it for you guys so I can post a tutorial on the last few relics. Sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but with the bus relic activated, enemies' health regenerates, which is hardly noticeable with how quickly this gun kills. The Uberklaus was the only time in this match where I could notice the health regenerating, if I'm being completely honest. It's clutch to have this gun viable off the wall as well, especially in Curse game mode where you are limited to the Jaeger pistol when spawning in. For those that don't know, you can find the Mirage by the crafting table at the Cosmodrome. Considering how powerful this gun is, it's honestly somewhat annoying to use if I'm being completely honest. I'm not sure if this is a mechanic glitch that will be fixed in the future, but there is this odd, unnatural firing delay between when you pull the trigger and the first shot of a burst. I'm not sure about you guys, but I enjoy a smooth firing experience, and to me, it's incredibly annoying. On top of the firing delay, this gun kicks like a damn mule. However, the build I will cover later in this video will mitigate the recoil drastically, so stay tuned for that. Pivoting to gameplay footage in standard mode to show you the damage numbers, the damage output you see is at tier 3 Pack-a-Punch legendary rarity. I decided to throw on the double or nothing augment from double tap to see how ridiculously high I could get the damage numbers. I also switched the major augment of Deadshot to Dead First, which doubled critical shots if the enemy is at full health. As you can see with these activated, you can reach up to almost 34,000 damage per shot. Max armor. Of course, we have to end every build video with a health cap test. This was the first gun I tested out at tier 4 pack at ultra rarity. Hopping into the build I would recommend for the Mirage, I felt that this all black carbon fiber camo, which is unlocked by prestiging the AK-27, fits this gun because it really is the Grim Reaper of BO7 Zombies. I chose the EAM dual zoom, which decreases the gun's recoil by 50%. It also allows you to toggle between 3 times and 7 times magnification. The muzzle brake is essential for reducing the recoil on the Mirage. It scales the first shot recoil by 60% and reduces the horizontal and vertical recoil by 8%. The kick reset speed, which is a measure of how quickly the gun resets to its non-firing stationary position, is reduced by 67%, making the gun significantly smoother when firing. The short barrel will increase ADS speed and sprint to fire speed. The CHF barrel, in my opinion, adds too much kick for my liking, and the critical multiplier of the damage barrel is not that impressive, increasing critical shots by only 7%. The Strider handguard will improve movement speed and hipfire speed. Fun fact about magazines in Black Ops 7 Zombies, a larger magazine no longer increases your overall reserve or stock ammo when pack punched. In BO6, the reserve amount would also increase with a larger mag, which totally nerfed the benefit of the magazine attachments. But with how fast this gun fires, the regular 30 round mag, which turns into a 40 round mag when pack punched, does not provide enough rounds to take down elites in the later rounds. So I would recommend going with the first extended mag. I avoid the bigger extended mags because it reduces ADS speed and sprint to fire speed. The Viceroy rear grip improves handling by increasing ADS speed by 10% and slide to fire speed by 20%. The mobility stock increases movement speed by 20% as well as a bump in hipfire movement speed. The least important attachment is the laser attachment. I went with the handling laser to further increase ADS by 5% and sprint to fire speed by 10%. Equipping FMJ over the laser might be a smarter play now that I think of it in order to maximize your penetration damage. On screen now is the stats for this build as well as the build code that I have showcased in this video. This zombie was a lot stronger than I thought and I ended up dying. It was the end of the round anyway. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. I will most likely be doing a video on the Shadow Sniper next. The prestige attachment is kind of crazy, so stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thanks guys. JJet out.